Hey everybody, well Roger D here from channel Donstar. I'm just thinking about doing something a little different here. If you're familiar with my channel and watch my Defending My Collection videos, you'll notice in the background I have this poster frame that I try to alternate certain original movie posters that I've collected throughout the years. Just about every couple months I'd like to change out one. Well, I've had the original Star Wars one up here for a while now, and I'm about to change it, and I was thinking, you know, it might be kind of cool to talk about some of the autographs I got on here. A lot of you viewers do like my stories, and I don't have too many great stories about meeting these people, but I just to put it out there and see if anybody be interested. I purchased this poster back in, I believe, '77 when the movie first came out. In fact, the one I had up previously, the one that said "Coming to Your Galaxy this summer," was the advanced poster, like in 1976, before the movie even came out. That's probably the rarest movie poster piece I have in my collection. It isn't the Mylar one, which if you're a collector and you know about that poster, the Mylar, the silver, throughout the years had become detached and would fall off. But it was the second one they did that had the same silver outline, the Mylar outline, but it wasn't a glued-on Mylar to the actual poster. It was more of an ink thing. That's the one I have. And from what I understand, that's the rarer one, because a lot of people had the other one, which is kind of falling apart. I have no autographs on that. I planned to just hang on to that and keep that, which I had. And if you go back to my last couple of defendings, you'd probably see it behind me. Excuse me. In fact, with the fight with Barry, it's in the background. But this one I got probably shortly after the movie came out. It is an original. I have a bunch of Star Wars posters from the reissues and for the first three movies. I call them the first three movies, Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. I even have a advanced, it was a reissue of Empire Strikes Back poster that actually has a banner across it that says "Coming Soon, Revenge of the Jedi." So it's not as rare as the actual Revenge of the Jedi poster, but it is still kind of cool to have something like that. But throughout the years, in the mid-90s and onwards, actually I'd have to go back to the very first autograph I got on the poster, which was Mark Hamill. During my last years in college at Columbia in Chicago, I was working as an usher, a doorman usher at the Blackstone Theater in Chicago. And we would have many stage plays, a lot of celebrities would come in. Well, Mark Hamill came in to do Amadeus. He played Amadeus in the show, Amadeus. Amadeus, I'm saying it over and over again. And he was fantastic in the role. And if you're familiar with that show, Amadeus was a little kooky and he would do the laugh. And I'm wondering, I think back now, because Hamill is known for the Joker laugh, if that was his training to do such a bizarre, sinister laugh, and he eventually worked it into the Joker. Very possible, who knows? But he did a really good job, you know, almost as well as, was it Tom Hulce who did the movie version? So the show was on, and this was right around the time, I believe this was like 1980, maybe 81. They had already finished they finished the filming of Jedi, and so maybe we're talking 82, 81, 82. No, it wasn't 82. I don't know when it was. I'm old. I can't remember this stuff. But being that I knew the people there, and I've worked there a number of years at the Blackstone, man, I saw so many people there. Nell Carter, very young Matthew Broderick, Dustin Hoffman was there for Death of a Salesman. David Bowie was in The Elephant Man. A lot of great performances. Little Gary Coleman, Venus Flytrap from WKRP, they were all there. We even went to Six Flags Great America with the cast of Ain't Misbehavin', which Nell Carter was part of. And I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm supposed to be talking about this. But anyway, I got along real good with the people there, and as most of the ushers there did. And I had asked them, is there a way I can meet Mr. Hamill and get my poster autographed? And like I said, it was my very first autograph, probably ever, if I'm thinking back, I don't think I got anything older than his autograph. So this might be his first, or my first. So they put me in the back. It wasn't like out in the alley like where the backstage door. It was actually inside the building, near the dressing rooms. And there were other people, ushers there, that wanted to get just things autographed, the program for Amadeus, things like that. I think I still have that program. I know I got David Bowie's autograph on the Elephant Man program somewhere in one of my boxes, along with Dustin Hoffman. I got a rolled Tootsie poster that I had him autograph. But anyway, I'm talking about other stuff. So yeah, so I was waiting back there, and here comes Mark Hamill, and you know, he was just, you know, I guess he was, well, he was doing Corvette Summer around that time, and I don't know other things he was doing other than, you know, he just came off Empire, and they just finished Jedi, and now he was going around doing the theater route. And he was just hey guys, how's it going? Very friendly guy, very, very nice, friendly guy. Other people came around, you know, and they're, oh, would you mind signing this? Would you mind signing this? And as I was waiting there watching, I had my poster, it was folded, and I was like, it'd be nice to just have it, because I remember when people get autographs, don't get it personalized, just get the name. And I was like, oh, should I do that? Because that might make it a little more rare. So it came to my turn, and I went up. I said, "Hey, how you doing? A big fan." And oh, thanks. And he goes, what movie is this? I don't remember this movie. Of course, Star Wars made him the star. And he goes, "Who do I make this out to?" And I was like, "I'll make it up to Roger." You know, I said, "Screw it." That, you know. And so right here, I'll insert a close up right there. He put down, "May the Force be with Roger," and Mark Hamill. And it was just a great, cool experience. And then we kind of all he was leaving, and we kind of followed him out the stage door and went up to, I guess he was waiting for a ride or something, and we were just kind of all standing around, and other people were talking to him. There was only maybe about 5 people there, including me, and we're like, so what can you tell us about the new Star Wars movie? What's in the new Star Wars movie? And he says, I can't really, by contract, I can't say anything about it. He says, but all I can say is it's going to be a lot of fun. And that was it. And everybody was like, wow, yeah, it's going to be fun. Like that was a big thing. So that was my little meeting with Mark Hamill. And I understand on the internet, I've seen there's some stuff going on with fake Mark Hamill autographs. I think he tweeted something recently, basically showing saying, this is my autograph if you got something that doesn't, I don't know, something like that. But I didn't mind because I met him face to face. I shook his hand, and there it was. The next autograph I got was years later. It was in the maybe like 87, 88 maybe, or was it 90s? No, it was in the 80s. It was in the late 80s. My brother and I went to Washington, D.C. to the Famous Monsters of Filmland convention. And I had to have known David Prowse was going to be there because I did bring the poster. I brought a number of posters because Joe Dante, oh my God, the Famous Monsters convention was unbelievable. Forey Ackerman and like I said, Joe Dante, John Landis, oh my God, so many people. I got Ed O'Neill from Texas Chainsaw, who was a movie poster vendor there, a foreign movie poster vendor at the time, and I got his autograph there. A lot of people's autographs. And of course, there was David Prowse. And everybody pretty much was there to get Star Wars stuff signed. And if I remember correctly, near him or in the same booth as him, there weren't really a booth. It was kind of like a table off to the side. He had these, I believe they were either chalk or oil paintings, beautiful space battle paintings, fictional space battles with the Star Wars ships. And they were selling those for $200, $300, $400 a piece. And so I had my Star Wars poster, and I got in line and got his autograph, and it's over here in the end. I'll show an insert of that. And again, I figured by this time I'm just going to get everybody I meet from this movie, if I ever meet them, I'm just going to have them personalize them to me. And so I did. He put down there to Roger, David Prowse. And the only little story I can tell about that is I asked him, you know, everybody's talking about Star Wars, about Darth Vader. Are you upset they didn't use your voice and all that type? And when he was signing mine, I was like, you know, so tell me, how was it working with Stanley Kubrick? And he just like dropped the pen, he took his glasses off and he looked at me and he held out his hand and I shook him and he says, thank you. He says, nobody ever asks me about that. Everybody wants to know about Star Wars. And he says, I really appreciate that you know I'm from a Kubrick film. And I says, oh, Clockwork Orange, it's fantastic. For those of you who don't know, in the movie A Clockwork Orange, the old man that Alex and the gang beat up in the beginning, later in the film, he's in a wheelchair and he has this gigantic muscle-bound helper that lifts the wheelchair and walks him down the stairs and that. Very intimidating looking. That's David Prowse. That's old Darth Vader there. And we talked a little bit about how he was doing it and how he had to carry that wheelchair a bunch of times down that staircase, that he just had it was a great experience for him to work with Stanley. But that's my little story with David Prowse. That's where I got him. The others, I believe, all were in the same time, and none of them put a date down. I went to, I'm guessing this was early 90s or mid 90s. Gosh, was it? It was sometime. It was sometime in my past. I went to the Chicago, not Wonderfest, it was the Comic-Con. It was the Chicago Comic-Con. I don't know what they called it or what it was called, but I just knew it as the big Comic-Con, the one where you have to walk like this between people because it's so crowded, and you know, you walk 3 miles before you even get into the center, and then you get your tickets and all that, and then you go in, and they had a whole section off to all the artists, the comic illustrators and such. They were all in separate areas, and then they had the dealer tables all over the place. And at one of the tables, which was secluded off, and I had known these people were going to be there again, and I brought this poster. And like I said, I had the other posters, and I didn't want to be like, here, will you sign this one? Will you sign this one? Will you sign this one? I figured as long as I got the original Style A Star Wars poster from '77, I'll get everybody I can meet sign this one only. So this was the one I would carry it around with me. And now that I'm thinking, I don't even know if he was supposed to be there, because I had expected to get the other people, which I'll talk about, but I might have been just walking along and then went, Anthony Daniels is here. Oh my God. And like I said, he wasn't with the other guys. He was in like the dealer area up on a platform, and I cannot remember what he was there with. It might have been a book he wrote, as my voice cracks. I'm not really sure. But he was there, and I did not expect him to be there, which was a big bonus, because, I mean, C-3PO, come on. So maybe he was advertised the last, you know, as the Comic-Con was coming in, but we had already pre-purchased the tickets, and we already knew we were going to go. So if he was a late addition, he was, if, you know, I didn't know it. But I got in line, and it wasn't too long. It was only like maybe 15-minute wait. And again, you have to kind of remember, this is after the movies had been out. There was already that Star Wars fandom, but this is before the reissues when Lucas fiddled with them and brought them out again. This was like early 90s. I think, yeah. And before the prequels and before all the hype and everything. But anyway, so yeah, I waited. I went up there, and I didn't say much to him. Actually, out of all the people I've met, he was probably the most, I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to sound like an idiot. But he's like, oh, hello, how, you know, and I was like, oh, it's 3PO talking. It's like, wow, it's cool. I gave him the poster, and he's like, oh, you got Mark, and oh, David, yes. And he signed it, and he signed it right, where is he? Right here, underneath, Peter Mayhew, which we'll get to later. Am I in the shot? I'm out of the shot. Right here, you can see, real fancy handwriting, Anthony Daniels, and then he put little C-3PO down there. And I moved along on my way. And now that I'm thinking, now that the brain is kind of clearing with this memory, I do believe it was about a book that he was selling, probably one of his autobiographies or something, which I don't get. I'm a viewer, I'm not a reader. But but I am a writer. Weird. So then I went along and got in line with for the other autographs, and they had more Star Wars people than I thought I'd ever see. And the first one I got up to was who was it? I believe it was, well, let's go, Peter Mayhew. Peter Mayhew, right over here, just above Anthony Daniels, and they were all sitting at this long table. And you've seen Peter Mayhew with the long hair and everything. Big guy, big guy. Big hands. And he, you know, did the old Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca, and moved along the conveyor belt to the next person. And I believe the next one was Kenny Baker, which is right over here, R2-D2. Little Kenny Baker was there. And I got his autograph. Small hands, smelled like cabbage. No, I'm doing Austin. Austin Power. But he did have small hands, of course, you know. But yeah, it was great to see him, because I've seen him in other movies, you know, since I was an old timer, before he became, you know, I mean, like Time Bandits and things like that. It was really cool to see him. And then the third and the last one that I got was a gentleman, well, you know him as Red 3, Biggs. Biggs was there. I believe his name is Garrick Hagen? Garrick Hagen, or Hagen, I think. He was there. Didn't look at all like, you know, from 1977 with the old porn star mustache. And, Luke, are we going to get out of there in time? You know, but it was just great. It's like, I got another Star Wars person, another person from Star Wars. And so that completes this poster. Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, Mark Hamill, Kenny Baker, Gareth Hagen, and David Prowse as Darth Vader. In later years, I would go to the, like, 98, 99, I would go to the Chiller Theater convention, horror Halloween convention in Jersey. And at one of those conventions, I believe it's the first one, I'm actually working on a Retro Roger about that convention now. I'm going to do it in multiple parts because it's like 6 hours of footage, and I'm trying to whittle it all down, all the autograph sessions, all the big Halloween parts. I'm not going to get into that, we're talking to shut up. Okay, yeah. But at that convention, I was able, I'm going to put a little insert here. I got the autographs 8x10 signed. I just don't have them up yet because I haven't gotten frames yet. But I'm going to turn the point, but they're not there. I'm just going to insert it. You'll get to see. Jeremy Bullock, Boba Fett was there, and I got his autograph. I love that 8x10 that you're looking at. Just the blue sky, and it was great. And just the way he signed it was really, really cool. And then Ola, or Ula, Jabba's the green alien dancer in Jabba's palace. I got her autograph. You can see it. I believe her name is Femi Taylor, or Femi Taylor. I think it's Femi, or Femi. I'm sorry, Taylor. And yeah, she played Ula, and they were together. And I got both their autographs on those 8x10s. The year I went, 2001 was the last time we went to Jersey, and I actually did kick myself, although I didn't know he was going to be there. Usually I carry this Star Wars poster whenever I go to a convention, because you really don't know who's going to be there. I mean, the guy who played Greedo could have been there, and it would have been kind of cool to get him, even though we don't know who that is. I'm sure die-hard people know that actor, but I don't know. Or any of the military people in the Death Star, you know, TK421, why aren't you at your post? I mean, if they were there, it would have been kind of cool to get them to autograph it too, even though they're smaller people. But I stopped bringing it around, and I'm kicking myself because the last year we went to the Chiller Theater, we were walking around, and here's this table with this little man in a wheelchair. And I took a double take because they had a photo of him from Star Wars, A New Hope. It was Uncle Owen. he was so feeble, so old, and sadly he passed either that year, it was around Halloween, so within those past couple months, very shortly after. And I kind of kicked myself I didn't bring the poster, because I would have gotten his autograph on there. So that was a missed opportunity, but I'm still happy I have what I have. I would love to get Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher on here. Harrison Ford, I doubt I'll ever get a chance to meet up with him anywhere. Carrie Fisher is another story, because although it might be tough now, being that she's in The Force Awakens and in the new trilogies, I guess she's going to be in all three. We don't know. But she also does books, and she's a comedian and a comic writer, and she does tour every once in a while. So chances are I might see her sometime at a convention or a Comic-Con or something, and might decide to go there and get her autograph on here, get her to sign it, which would be nice. But yeah, I believe that's it. I can't think of anything else on the Star Wars deal, but I think that's long enough. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be switching this out, so in the next video you'll see a different poster up there. I haven't decided what I'm going to put up there yet. But I'm going to be taking this down, putting it back into storage, and I thought, you know, why not just show off the autographs I got on there? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Those people who are fans of my channel that just watch everything I do, I hope you enjoyed it. Any of the Star Wars fans that just stumbled across this video, seeing Star Wars autographs, and watch this. If you're new, I'm Channel Donstar. I'm Roger D at Channel Donstar. Do me a favor, subscribe down there. Watch my other videos. They're pretty cool. People seem to like me. They seem to. And if you like this video, like I said, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it, take it to school. You know, hey, have fun with it. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So from me to you, old Roger Donstar, old Roger Donstar, old Roger D. My last name isn't Donstar. Old Roger D from Channel Donstar. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I hope that was on record. Would have sucked if it wasn't on record all this time.